Hello, 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 hello. How are you, everybody? Welcome to the Trig Podcast of Joy. Goes to TV in this beautiful Martin Luther King Jr. Day podcast, special edition, 12:30 here, noon time-ish in the LA area. Welcome, bienvenidos to my podcast. You can watch me, excuse me, I have some hair here. Watch me on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, Instagram, wherever you're watching me. Thank you for being here. So glad that you're here. So excited that you're here. Thank you for always your kindness, let's see, I'm going to just get a couple of things going here. Excuse me really quick. Let's see here. Okay, let's get this going a little bit this way. And just fixing a couple of things for Instagram, for the gram, as a cool kid say. I haven't been a cool kid in a while, but here we are. So, yeah, welcome once again, my dear Goso family, to today's episode 7 Steps to Rebuild Your Marriage Relationship After a Crisis. There have been all kinds of crises that couples and families have been through in 2025, financial, physical, emotional, whatever it may be. And I'm here to help you, to speak from my own experience, to speak from the Bible, to speak from the Word of God. And excuse me, I still have something stuck. I wonder if it's here in the glasses sometimes. I don't know what's going on. But to guide you. But before we get into that, I want to just say hello. How are you? What are you doing today? Here in the States, today is a holiday, so maybe you're working, maybe you're off. Perhaps nothing has changed. Maybe you are doing something fun. I have a friend who's in Fiji right now, so shout out to my friend out there in Fijilandia. And today, my wife and I and son are going to, I think, do some home projects. We worked out last night, my wife and I. That was really, really awesome. We've been in these healthier habits this in 2026. And what else? Of course, church was awesome yesterday, beautiful. And then I did a late stream last night. Maybe you caught it. It was last night, like at midnight almost. I just got inspired to talk about a couple of things. So you can check that out on my YouTube channel, wherever you're watching me, on Instagram or Spotify, Apple Podcast. And then Saturday was awesome also because, were there any football games? I think so. Sunday, of course, yesterday. I'm a Raiders fan, but the Rams are cool too. Eric Dickerson, shout out to Eric Dickerson and Jim Everett and Charles White and all those guys. I forget the name of the amazing left tackle. I can picture his face, but back in the 80s. So I'm a big, I would still am. I would consider myself a Rams fan. Sure, I think so. Especially with the Raiders being gone. I'm a diehard Raiders fan, and of course Raiders and Rams don't get along. But these days, with the Rams being in LA, they play in downtown. They're not like OC, so I think we're all good with the Rams. So yeah, on to the championship, but the NFC championship game next week, I guess. And then Friday we had a great time with our daughters out there in the Miracle Mile where they live, spending time because of my beautiful wife's birthday, which was Thursday. She spent time with her family, with us, meaning with her sisters, and then, of course, together here. So, yeah, it's been an awesome week. How are you doing? What have you been up to? What has been happening lately? How was your weekend? What did you do? How do you feel? How do you really feel? All those things that are important. By the way, I wanted to show you a quick picture of a studio that I see here online. Look at this beautiful studio. This is my plan. And this is not as hard as it looks to build. It's just a house, doesn't have any acoustic treatment that I can see. The lights are very good, not necessary per se. The yellow lights are just simply wall lights that are just from the bottom up. These are just simply sandbags. And then the cameras, you can't see the cameras. That's the key part. And then the microphones, you have two SM7Bs here on Rode stands with headphones, and then connected probably to a Podcaster Pro, or something like that. I don't think this is for live streaming. This is, I think, just for podcasts. But it looks fancy. It's not basic. It definitely looks nice. This table, the couches, everything, the palm tree, or all the stuff. But I guess my point is, if you want me to build you this, I can do that. I can guide you through all the aesthetics. My beautiful daughter, she's a Instagram aesthetics influencer and expert. This is what she does for a living. And then I am the tech expert. I can help you buy all this stuff, set it up for you. And for about 10 grand, we can get you set up. And so, of course, you can then from this studio make hundreds of thousands of dollars in many different ways. So this is something that I offer as a service, and I'm going to actually save that image because it's very, very beautiful. And I can show you some pictures of what I've actually done. This is just one that I found online, but I can show you images of what I've actually done in the last few years in terms of building studios for people. It's one of my passions. But anyways, let's get into the content. I want to go through a few things, a few steps. I don't know why the chat's not working from what I see here. Okay, there it is. I think it's now. There it is. Okay, good. Is it working? I don't know. Sort of not. There it is. Okay, good. So welcome, by the way. So 7 steps to rebuild your marriage. So I'm going to have an intro here. A family crisis doesn't just stress a marriage. It rewires it. Today we're talking about how couples don't just survive crises, but rebuild something stronger, wiser, more honest on the other side. So more honest on the other side. So the first thing is to name the crisis honestly. Healing starts with truth. Really saying it just plainly. That season was hard on us. That naming of the crisis honestly is number one, because that's where the healing begins. You're not minimizing it. You're not dramatizing it. You're just naming the reality. You can't rebuild something that you can't acknowledge. Hiding from it or thinking it's going to go away by itself or that it didn't affect you is a recipe for a disaster. What you have to do as a couple is to say, that was tough. Here's what we did. Here's what we didn't do. Here's where we're at now. It's kind of like I was telling a couple that it's sort of like when there's an earthquake or maybe something more like a storm, or let's say here in the LA area that it rained really hard for, let's say, 2 weeks. And then you have to go assess your roof, your yard, your maybe gutters, or if you live in an apartment, just how did we do? And you can't ignore the rain or the storm, and you can't get stuck there, but you have to assess to see what needs to be fixed or repaired. And that's what you have to do. Number 2 is to release survival roles, because during a crisis, a couple or a family, or if it's your significant other, they shift into survival roles. A strong one and a weak one, a fixer and a holder, a manager and a supporter. And these are important roles in an emergency, but they're toxic long term. You have to say out loud, we don't have to relate through survival anymore. That is such a powerful statement to tell your husband, your wife, to say, this is what we had to do in the emergency room when the patient was in triage and you had to do CPR. But now that the crisis is over or is better, now we can relate to each other as husband and wife once again. Number 3 is to restore the emotional safety before intimacy. Before you go back into having your normal intimacy life, and I'm talking about and I don't want to say that word if the stream gets stopped, before you go back to your normal habits, assuming that they were good beforehand, you have to first restore safety, emotional safety, and that is rebuilt through presence, not solutions. Listening before fixing, gentle closeness without expectations. Safety is first, connection follows, intimacy is the last, meaning it's the third step. And so for a marriage to restore safety, it has to first start with just being present, by being together. And so one of the things that I do with my wife and I, Rochelle and I, is we practice knee-to-knee times, coffee time. We also call it couch time in the mornings. When we get home, we do these things. All these are practices that rebuild a marriage, that restore safety before intimacy or fun or more spending. Mosquito. And sometimes couples will try to get out from the crisis by spending or by drinking or by going back to their original roles. And that doesn't create safety. What creates safety is presence, is being in each other's lives, is listening. How do you really feel? Not fixing, but listening, and giving your wife, your husband, that space, that, as they call it, what does they call it? A creating space, or there's another cool term for it, where you are creating a safe space, holding space, I think is maybe what it's called. And then gentle closeness without expectation. So it's not sexual. It's not where you are hoping to get something out of this. It's not where you want your husband to fix things around the house. or you want him to work more hours so you can go on vacation. Those are all solutions, not presence. You want to start with closeness. You want to start with being someone who is near the other person, regardless of the outcomes. Number 4 is grieve what was lost and do it together. Most couples skip this, and it costs them years. You grieve the loss of how easy it was. You grieve the loss of time. You grieve lost versions of who you used to be. You can say something like, I miss who we used to be. I miss the old us. I hate that this changed us. That shared grief softens hearts. It is an unspoken grief that hardens them. It's okay to acknowledge and to say, wow, that season really hurt us. It really changed us. It's no longer as easy as it used to be when we were all together, when we had this person helping us with this project, or when we used to have this house or this car, or when we had these traditions with our parents, or this house that we lost. To say and to acknowledge grief is healing. And when you wait on that, or you hold off, or you postpone grieving, it's going to wait for you. It's loss will wait for you. Grief will wait for you. Sadness will wait for you. Fear will wait for you. Anything that, especially grief, will wait for you. And so it's better to acknowledge it and to say that was some really crazy times, and we've lost a lot of things. Maybe your health, maybe your softness, your kindness, and maybe you've become rough around the edges. And it's okay to acknowledge that you're not going to get stuck there, but you grieve. And number 5 is to rebuild friendship first. Before you build romance, you have to rebuild friendship. And romance doesn't reappear automatically after trauma. Friendship does. Ask again, what makes you laugh now? What drains you now? What brings your life together now? Companionship, I have here written, is the bridge back to passion. And especially for men, we want sex, we want intimacy. Maybe for the women, they want that provision, they want that safety, they want that loyalty. To be rebuilt, or to show up right away, you have to first build friendship. What made you attracted to each other to begin with? Their laughter, their joy, their beauty, their sensitivity, their fitness, their goals, their love for Jesus. Go back to the things that drew you together. Rebuild your friendship, and to reestablish those friendship habits that maybe have been lost. As I said, companionship is the bridge to passion and all the other fun stuff. Number 6, we're talking about 7 steps to rebuild a marriage after our crisis. Number 6 is create new rhythms. Don't chase the old ones. Don't aim to get back to normal or how it used to be or to the good old days. Remember, you've been changed. Instead, ask, what does a healthy week look like for us now? What does a healthy week or month look like for us now? Lighter schedules, clearer boundaries, joy on purpose. A wiser marriage replaces the old one. This is so, so crucial to have a new normal, a new marriage. What does a healthy week or marriage look like for us in 2026 after the crisis? And it's not doing as many things as you used to, especially as we age, especially as we mature. We have to be lighter on the loafers, do less things that mean more. Clear boundaries to say, we're going to do this together here, and then that we can do separate. We're going to all together go on this date with just the two of us, or maybe with friends, or maybe with our kids. But this is going to be a private time or a private day for us. We're not going to get involved in all the other drama or the other things that we have to fix or do. Instead, we're going to keep our schedule light, but have clear boundaries to protect that time together. And we're going to enjoy what are things that you enjoy, that I enjoy. Let's do them together. And let's build joy back into our marriage, into our lives. So Rochelle and I, we love eating out. We love going to movies. We love being in bed together. We love doing projects. We love fixing things. We love talking. We love helping. We love being with our family. We love going on dates. We love eating, as I said. We love going to church together. We love enjoying life together. We went to Disneyland, like I said the other day. And to build upon those things, and to have it be mutual. It's not just one person's agenda or list, but it's both of you working together on less things that unite you. Number 7, the last one, is invite help without shame. If you need counseling, if you need wisdom from somebody else, physical therapy, it's kind of like physical therapy after an injury. You're not less or you're not broken. Strong marriages don't wait until they're broken. They get help early because that shortens the recovery and deepens the connection. And so if you want to coach like me, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, but if you want to coach maybe kind of a step into counseling, someone that can guide you from a biblical perspective and from a marriage that's been together and beautiful marriage for 30 years. We've been through crises, we've been through difficulties, and we've recovered, we're recovering now. We went through some family things last year, health things and financial things. And so now we're rebuilding. We are thinking of getting a coach and ourselves, just things that will deepen. But if you want that for yourself, if you're looking to say, I need the same thing, then we're here for you. And I can refer you to some of the programs that I offer, some of the online coaching that I do, as well as one-on-one, all these things. So closing, I thought a crisis doesn't define your marriage. It heals better. But how you heal does. So once again, a crisis doesn't define your marriage. How you heal does. You're not rebuilding what you had. You're building what you didn't have the tools for before. And that marriage can be deeper, calmer, more connected than the one you lost. This is very important to redefine, to accept that, I've lost something. It isn't the same. It's better. It isn't as innocent. It's better. It's more mature. It's more wise. And I'm getting the help that I need. I'm getting back up on the horse. I'm in physical therapy after an injury. Not an emergency surgery anymore. It's just simply physical therapy because the walls or the windows need a little paint, a little touch up. The roof is leaking, and so I need to get someone to fix that. It's things like that that build a marriage for us. These are the things that my wife and I are doing. These are the things that I recommend and that I want to encourage you to pursue in your life on this MLK Day, this holiday Monday here. And to encourage you to always live a life of gozo. Because there is pain in the night, isn't there? But gozo, joy comes in the morning. So I want to encourage you to go to my website, davidtree.com, where you can find all of my services. And most of all, just stay connected here as I bring you the Word of God and as I bring you hope and guidance and tools to help you along your journey back to joy, back to gozo. Thank you again for being here. Share this podcast with somebody. I'll see you next time. Adios. Adios.